everyone, this is my first podcast, and today we're going to talk about the impact of social media. Technology is very helpful, makes a lot of things easy, but like anything in the world, there is too much of a good thing. And one thing we don't talk about is what is the right balance of technology. And I would argue that for many of us, it is out of the balance. We know that the chemical dopamine is released whenever we get a bing, buzz, flash, or beep from our phones. Dopamine is the exact same chemical that's released in alcohol, nicotine, or gambling. In other words, it can be addictive if you're left unbalanced. A little alcohol is great, but too much alcohol is not that great. Technology is wonderful, but too much technology can be very destructive and destroy our relationships, like all addiction destroy our relationships. And so that one thing we're both considering is what is the right balance. If you wake up in the morning and you check your phone before you say good morning to your spouse, that's a problem. If you have phantom beeps, that's a problem. If you find yourself incapable of getting through a day without needing to check your phone, that's a problem. Now, where it gets really dangerous is with kids. Well, some of them aren't kids anymore. So, almost all alcoholists on the planet discovered alcohol when they were children, when they were very, very young. The only thing we need is the approval of our parents. When we go through adolescence, we now need the approval from our peers. Frustrating for our parents, very important for us, because it allows us to accelerate outside of immediate families into a larger group. Very stressful time, and we're supposed to learn in this time of anxiety to rely on our friends, to reach out to our friends for help. That's what we're supposed to learn. Some people, quite by accident, discovered alcohol, and they learn the numbing effects of dopamine actually help them get through the stress of adolescence. This connection, unfortunately, becomes hardwired, and so far the rest of their lives, when they face any kind of financial, career, or social stress, they don't turn into a person, they turn to a bottle. So, when they suffer stress, it turns to a person, and what they do, they turn to a device. And what the only does is increase sense of isolation and loneliness, and can actually destroy relationships. We've all had the experience where you were somebody walking down the street, out for dinner or whatever, and they pull out their phone, and you feel like an idiot. Now, take the entire generation that has no memory of the time before the device. They at least can reference time before cell phone and internet or social media. They at least had a point of reference. We don't. That's how we feel. So we have an entire generation growing up with an addiction. We're seeing increased rates suicide amongst this generation. We're seeing overdose generation, homicides, school shootings. We're seeing the effect of loneliness and isolation. We're seeing it, yeah, and we're not reacting it. We're not doing anything about it. And parents. Parents are a lot to blame for this, because parents, there are some schools who want to restrict phones in their school, and it's the parents who demand that they can keep their phone in case of emergency. Seriously? When was the last time the cell phone was used for emergency? So, combined with that fact that we have an addicted generation that doesn't give the skill set to ask for help. Combined with that fact, they're so good at Facebook and Instagram. They're good at outing filters on everything, so they're good at showing you how smart and strong they are. These kids who commit suicide, you go look at their Instagram, you would have no clue that they were depressed because they're happy and truly star athletes. Their parents told them that they were special. They can get whatever they want, they can get whatever they need. These kids get to honors classes not because they deserve it, but because the parents complained. And some of them get good grades, not because they earned it, but because the teachers didn't want to deal with that. And they graduate to college, get a job, and in an instant way, they find out they're not special. They don't get anything for coming unless the parents can get them a promotion. And you can't have whatever you want just because you want it. And in an instant way, their entire self-imagine is shattered. And you have an entire generation growing up with a lower confidence than previous generation. Combined with an ability to ask for help with things that you're struggling with, and you turn to a social media or a device. You keep checking and checking, you count your followers, you count your likes, and somebody unfriends you, oh my god, that's a trauma, right? What we don't understand is that life, that relationship and career, fulfillment are a journey. There is no app for that. We gotta go through the slow plodding, annoying, meandering process called career life. But if they don't get it in 8 months, they go looking for someone else. If we don't get it, we go looking for someone else. It's impatient, and because we didn't have the skill set to ask for help, and because we feel lonely, it compounds and compounds. Parents have to, in turn, they have to stop giving their kids free access to social media and phones, of course. Kids are not ready for their mind. Their mind can't cope with dopamine. Balance is fine. You can get a kid a phone, but they can't use it in their bedroom. They can have it at dinner table. They can take it to school. You can allow them to keep for 1 hour, but you must take it away. Now, let's get back to positive way of social media. Social media can make it easy to find groups of like-minded people or make new friends. Finding a close-knit community can help us feel valued and accepted. Social media is also an easy way of nurturing existing relationships with families and friends who has moved away. Send message, photos, call to stay in touch. Social media has a lot of benefits. For example, better communication. Social media is known for bringing up new topics, while many conversations may seem too controversial and divisive. They can bring up important themes to discuss with people you care about and trust. You can also join groups and for specific hobbies or introduce to engage of discussion, learn and grow. We also have spreading news, building a business, driving traffic to your website, learning and education, and social media has a lot of things that you can use it for good. So this is the impact of social media that has